Alpha and Omega Construction Corporation as one of the three bribe givers. Hindi na flood control ang hinahanap ng Pilipino, grid control. Kasi nasobra na yung grid na sinagasaan ng lahat.
Enzo Recto, kalaban ang katiwalian at kasinungalingan, kakampi sa katotohanan at kabutihan.
Just to refresh our colleagues also, Mr. President, if I may continue. You mentioned in your privilege speech some contractors and some of the owners. Now, Mr. President, may I go on? The Alpha and Omega Construction and the St. Timothy Constructions were included in the top 15 flood control contractor list from President Bongbong Marcos on during his press conference. And if I'm not mistaken, you also mentioned something to that effect in your privilege speech. Now, on the Securities and Exchange Commission papers, iba-iba po ang owners ng composition of the company. But in actuality, alam ng lahat na iisa lang ang may-ari nito. Same owner of the once blacklisted St. Gerard Construction. Now, they will deny this fact until they can. However, in one of the tax cases filed against them on 2022 before the Court of Tax Appeals, CTA case number 10472, to be exact, the same and one address lang ang ginagamit for St. Timothy, St. Matthew, St. Gerard, and Alpha and Omega Construction Corporations. Also, the majority stockholder of St. Timothy, who owns 85% of the company, named Miguel Juntura, was the marketing director of St. Gerard. The question, Mr. President, billions of government projects concentrated and monopolized by a few. Mr. President, paano nila itong nailulusot? Who monitors this kind of circumvention?
We have an agency, Mr. President. It is called the Philippine Contractors Accreditation Board, or PICAB, which is the implementing board of the CIAP, a Construction Industry Authority of the Philippines. Incidentally, this authority is under the DTI. Pero it seems na medyo na haluan na rin yata ng konting, o hindi lang konti, ng katiwalian pagdating sa mga flood control projects, because information na keep coming in sa aming opisina na itong PICAB nagre-resort na sa accreditation for sale. May mga ganyang reports, and I've talked to some contractors, private contractors, na they had this experience of being offered accreditation by PICAB, na sila na yung bahala sa bank certificate and other requirements for a fee of, I think, 2 million pesos for a start. So ganito na po kasama talaga yung kalakaran sa ating bureaucracy. And I think in the second hearing of the Blue Ribbon Committee, because I believe, as we have monitored, na during the first hearing, guest po ninyo yung resource person nyo, yung PICAB. And there's some issues that they could not explain during the hearing. And I think we can take this up again with them, your observation in relation to St. Timothy and Alpha and Omega. Incidentally, Mr. President, Alpha Omega was mentioned by the pride of Congress, who incidentally is the produced seed of our distinguished colleague, Senator Loren Legarda. Sabi ko nga, move over, Senator Legarda, there's a new kid on the block. And to her credit, she produced a seed named Leandro Legarda Leviste. Nabanggit po niya itong Alpha Omega, na one of the three contractors na involved, na may resibo pa, ang sabi niya. I heard his interview sa radio, TV, and he identified Alpha and Omega ba ito?
Yes.
Alpha and Omega Construction Corporation as one of the three bribe givers given through the district engineer of Batangas, First Engineering District, si Abelardo Calalo. And I think we should not stop at filing the information or filing the case with the prosecutor's office of Batangas. I think we should dig deeper into this case. Congressman Leviste offered him to be a state witness, and I think the Department of Justice can pursue this. if only to identify and to catch the bigger fish. Kasi lumalabas ngayon, as I mentioned in my privilege speech, naging bagmen na lang, naging legmen yung mga district engineers. No? Sila na lang yung tagatakbo ng mga contractors, and who knows, maybe even the funders who are the sponsors or proponents of insertions in the GAA.
Well, thank you for that, Mr. President. May I know how the Philippine Contractors Board is formed? Ano ba ito? Paano nabubuo itong board na to? Who appoints the members? Who elect the members?
Let me look into that, Mr. President. But I think that's a good question to be raised in the second hearing of the Blue Ribbon Committee, led by our distinguished colleague, Senator Marcoleta. No? I-take note natin, Mr. President, so we can
Yes.
ask this question.
That's good. Thank you very much. Now, speaking of government officials, to determine the involvement of government officials or intertwined ownership with those who have been blacklisted or those who have tax evasion cases, do you think we should also try to dig deeper during the evaluation of project contractors, such as going into the layers of their ownership? Hindi po ba dapat ganun ang gawin?
Certainly, Mr. President, we should look into that. Ano? Yung interlocking directorship ang tawag doon, na kung saan nilalayer, pero pag tiningnan mo yung corporation documents ng several corporations, nag-i-interlock yung mga director, sila-sila rin. No? And of course, nilalayer para hindi ma-identify. And this is a practice being committed by, mga unscrupulous corporations that deal with the government, particularly mga flood control projects.
Yeah, Mr. President, your guess is as good as mine also. Hindi ko nga alam kung paano nabubuo itong Philippine Contractors Accreditation Board. Kasi in 2023, the Bulacan River Project amounted to 96.4 million, was deemed completed. However, upon the ocular inspection of the President, stated that more than 200 meters of revetment was not built. And the contractor is St. Timothy Construction Corporation. O sila na naman yun. So after this anomaly, the PICAB, o yung Philippine Contractors Board, no? The PICAB license of St. Timothy was renewed from 2025 to 2027, allowing them to again participate in other massive government projects. How is this? How can this happen, Mr. President, Your Honor?
Most likely, Mr. President, ghost project po ito. Yung minention nyo na 96 million na peso flood control project. Ang nangyayari po kasi, Mr. President, as I also mentioned in my privilege speech, minsan yung lisensya ng contractor, hinihiram na lamang ng District Engineering Office at sila na nag-i-implement. And the District Engineer is the one, upon receipt of the what we call Project Designation Order. So mag-organize na siya, he will appoint the Project Engineer, PE. And he will also appoint yung inspector unit, yung mag-i-inspect. And even if hindi makumpleto yung project kasi nga ghost, mag-i-issue na rin sila ng tinatawag na Statement of Works Accomplishment. Puro papel po ang tumatakbo ang mandar without the project being completed. And I think there's a failure in the monitoring system of the Department of Public Works and Highways in the central office. Kasi meron silang monitoring office under a USEC in the department. Ito yung nagmo-monitor ng progress ng lahat ng mga projects, not only flood control projects, but all kinds of infra projects under the auspices or supervision of the Department of Public Works and Highways. So I don't know how high up yung syndicate, but it seems that the DPWH has become a playground of syndicates. Kasi nung sinabi nga ni Secretary Bonoan na isolated case ang first engineering district ng Bulacan, I did not believe him, Mr. President. Kasi mismong ang presidente, pag nag-iikot sa iba't ibang lugar, may nakikitang ghost projects. I myself, my team, was able to validate this in Nauhan, in Sitio Dike, Barangay Apitong. And I was listening to this interview by Secretary Bonoan. Sabi niya, miscommunication lang daw with the barangay chairman na sinasabing yung project, na sinasabing ghost project, ibang lugar daw. Well, ang sinabi niya, Barangay Dike. Barangay, hindi raw sa Barangay Apitong. Sitio Dike, Mr. President, is in Barangay Apitong. And our basis for locating that particular ghost project declared as completed pero walang project na nangyari, pinabalidate lang namin doon sa barangay chairman and some residents na talagang wala silang nasaksihan na construction ng flood control projects in that area. Kasi isang sitio lang naman to, Mr. President. Ang sinasabi niya, miscommunication, mali raw yung aming team, which I cannot accept, Mr. President, because, you know, I have this habit of validating, counter-checking, validating again before I open my mouth, especially in a privileged speech, because I know I will be fact-checked. You know? And it really happened because andyan na yung media, nagpunta na doon sa mga binanggit kong ghost projects, and they were really fact-checking kung talagang ghost projects. And here comes the DPWH Secretary, no less, no, even accusing us, or insinuating at least, na mali kami. And mali rin daw yung media. So how could the Bulacan 1st District Engineering Office be an isolated case kung laganap na yung kaso?
Bunyog, bunyog, halikan na kasama ka. Bunyog, kapag buklod ay may pag-asa. Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, isa ang pananaw. Sa bagong Pilipinas ang bunyog isisigaw.